Hit the record button. Okay, here we go. Hi guys, this is Michelle Padilla. I'm the host of the Awareness Show. It is 5 o'clock, and we are streaming live on Facebook Live. And I have my friend Lizette. We're going to be talking about what she's been up to this pandemic weird situation that's going
Mhm.
on right now. So Lizette, tell me what you do and who you are.
Okay, hi. My name is Lizette, as Michelle said, Santiago. Um, During the pandemic, actually, it's funny because a lot of people say that they're bored and they don't know what to do or anything like that. And honestly, it's been like the best time for my creativity to shine, let's just say. I have been really busy. I've done a table reading, I've done a play reading, I've created well, I didn't create it, my friend created it, who's very talented, but we did an animated series, like a podcast voice recording a production that's
Nice,
actually up for an award and everything. So we did 6 episodes, all from my room.
nice. So what is the
Yeah.
animation about? What's the
So it's yeah, it's what it reminds me of. It's like back in the day how a lot of the dramas were done on radio, like the teleplays
right?
and stuff. So it's kind of like that. Uh it would air every Sunday on luckystarradio.com, and we'd shoot an episode. Like, she'd usually give us about 2 weeks to shoot the episode, give us the script. So we'd record our stuff on our own. Each actor would do it on their own in their studios and or whatever voiceover equipment they had, and then we would send it off to her. She would edit everything and give us notes and everything like that, send it back to us, and then have to do some re-recordings here and there, and then that was it. Then it was off to production and aired every Sunday during the pandemic, almost like every Sunday for about 2 months, 3 months, something like that. So
So what is the cartoon about? So the
so
anime.
so yeah, so it's more like a horror thriller. It's like, like real life kind of people situations. It's more of a thriller, though. It's called the Old Timey Spectral Hour, as we related to it, Tosh, Totsdh. Um, and it's just a radio teleplay kind of thing, more thriller than anything else.
Nice.
So it's got a mystery to it. It features a mom, a dad, their kids, and the story about they find this book, and it's like Satanish kind of thing. It's just mysterious. I don't want to tell you too much about it because I want people to go out and like listen to it. So I don't want to give a lot of things away. Um, but it's a really cool horror thriller kind of animated project, so to speak. So
Oh, where can they find that? Is it on
yeah, it's on Spotify as we speak. Right now, I think there's only 2 episodes up right now. But one of the episodes, the first one, is the one I recommend, obviously, starting with. I know we all like to binge, but I always prefer to start with the first episode and go beyond. Um, but the first one, the Old Timey Spectral Hour, is on Spotify, and they can listen to it. Your subscription to Spotify, I think they have some free trials or whatever, or you subscribe to it, and then you can just listen to it on Spotify. And it's also up in the Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival coming up February 18th, I believe that starts. So we're up for, a film festival. So most people get awards, but, it's
Hey, I'm
there.
crossing my fingers. There you go. And
Thank you.
so are you doing any other plays besides that? Are you in Central Authority or
No, I'm not in Central Authority. Actually, I came aboard to Matt's marketing company a little after all of that was done, unfortunately. But I love Kristen West, and all his clients work on some fantastic things. It's amazing. But I did get to present the Best Actor Award for the Fantastic Horror Film Festival this of 2020. So that was fun. Obviously, normally it's done in person, but I actually filmed it in my little self-tape area that I have in my apartment. It's like during quarantine, I created a self-tape studio. I finished my voiceover studio, still chipping away at it. My voiceover studio, my self-tape studio. I have a meditation studio for myself, and my little rollout yoga studio too. So I have like 4 different studios in my little 1-bedroom apartment in North Hollywood.
ah That sounds like fun. I mean, I've always seen you guys do like the horror films, but me, I don't know if I was be an actress because I'm kind of shy, kind of like that. But I don't have that type of talent, so I'm
Oh,
more like the talky kind. So
you mean you're not a scream queen?
yeah, to be honest, I get scared when I watch what is it, The Exorcist? Believe it or not,
Oh, no
that was
way.
my
That is,
very first movie.
yes, that is honestly one of my favorites. The original. When she's spinning her head, oh, that's classic.
Oh no,
It's
I
still
was
classic.
13 years old. I ran out of the room. I started screaming, and that was it for me. No more scary movies for me. So,
Yeah, they can be a little grotesque and a little giving nightmares at night. But the funny thing is my mom was crazy. She wouldn't let me watch anything that encountered sexual stuff, but she would let me watch horror movies and someone getting their head chopped off. You know,
right.
it's like she would like, oh, watch Freddy Krueger kill somebody. Oh, but they're having sex. Turn your face. You can't watch that. You know, that's I'm like, okay, mom, no problem. You know, so I grew up with that. My mom was a big Halloween fanatic. So every year she would throw me a Halloween party, and I had like the best Halloween parties in my house. So everything was always Halloween decorated, and we have a party every year. And anyway, and we watch horror movies all the time for fun. So that just stood with me my whole life pretty much. And I love horror movies. I love acting in them. I love watching them. It's just, I used to work in an escape room as an actress, and it's a horror themed escape room, and you get kidnapped, we get
Oh
chained up,
wow.
and it's a whole scenario every night. And I did this like 4 times a week, being chained up in like a real live scenario, but it's all live. So like a more
That
like
sounds
a
fun.
yeah, it's fun. I mean, you get trapped in a room. You know, people come, they get trapped in a room for 45 minutes and they have to find their way out. And I'm the actor scaring the crap out of them the whole entire time. Sometimes helping them, sometimes not. You never know what you get. But it's crazy how people, what they do for a thrill. It's like, you really want to go someplace and just get locked in a room for 45 minutes? Okay. Guess that makes your night. And you don't want to go for happy hour? But it's the in thing now. I don't know if you heard of the movie called The Escape Room. That's come
Yeah,
about
I've heard of
because,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you heard of that, right? It's like, so
yeah,
now that's kind of the new source of entertainment that people go to, escape rooms and stuff. And you know,
yeah.
we used to
I'd be a scaredy cat. I'm a huge scaredy cat. So
you know, it's funny, people come and sometimes they'll bring their friends, and their friends do not know what they're getting themselves into. So when they find out, like, wait a second, you're throwing something over my head and throwing me in a room and I have for 45 minutes, I'm where do I get out of here? So it's like, and we've had a lot of celebrities come through. We've had just a number of celebrities come through that I've had the opportunity to act for, and it's incredible. You know, you have this little gig and then you meet these A-listers who come in and they want to experience this. And it's nice at the end of it too that a lot of them congratulate the actors, you know, and they have so much fun coming with some of the celebrities we've gotten. So
well,
it's
speaking
really
of
impressive.
actors, we just recently found out Justin Diamond just passed away from cancer. So, and I was telling my
Oh,
mom he's my age. He's like, I'm 44. He's like, wow.
well, Michelle, it's funny you bring that up because I don't know if Matt told you this, but Justin Diamond is a very dear friend of mine. And
Oh,
we have been friends for almost 2 decades. And it was, when I got the news today, it was devastating. I've been on the phone with his manager all day, pretty much all day long today. And I'm still in shock. You know, I'm dealing, and I remember him and I hanging out watching Bugs Bunny, and now I hear the noise that he's dead. Because like you, him and I, you know, kind of the same time frame era and stuff, and we had a lot in common. And it's just so sad because I literally, the last time I saw him, he was healthy, he was happy. And I actually asked about him about a month ago, and his manager told me that he was perfectly fine, everything was cool, and he was healthy. Then I went to the hospital recently, about 3 weeks ago, something minor, rib cartilage tear or something, you know, no biggie. But of course, they thought it was COVID and that whole
yeah.
scenario. So I'm like, all right, test me, whatever you got to do. And then
Oh,
I
please,
get out of
you
the
gotta.
hospital. Whatever you got to do, take my blood. get me out of this pain, you know? And then I came out of the hospital, and a week later I found out Dustin was in the hospital, and it's just I've been crying all day. It's just like it's just I'm still in shock. No one handles death well, but when you know the people that die, it's just
It's
even
yeah,
worse.
it's terrible.
It's
And
terrible.
I found out, my mom goes, "Yeah, you died of." I'm like, "What? Whoa!" It was a shock because and then I found out one of the writers from The Simpsons passed away because he got COVID. So he passed away. He was 57.
No way.
And then what was it? Sis, I forgot her name, but she played all the help, and I kept her. It'll come back to me.
Um,
But
the help.
anyways,
Huh.
sis, it starts with the C.
Sissy Spacek? No, she wasn't in that.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Is it her?
Sissy,
Wow.
yes, yeah, she passed away this week. So
Oh
they
my
always say
God.
people at three always come,
Comes in threes. It always does. And it's just right before right before Christmas, I heard about Charles Beldaducci. He used to be a MTV reality star, like back in the day or whatever. I'm sure some people, might have heard of him, but he made a lot of movies. He cast me in one of his films, and I heard he passed away, and he was also 44, just like Dustin was. So I'm like, oh my God, is this a new club that's starting? Because there's, they call it the 27 Club, but a lot of young people die at 27. And
right.
now Charles, Dustin, that Broadway star, I think, but he died of COVID, but still, he was in his 40s. It's like, what's going on here? It's just, I can't, 2021 has not started out any better, I have to
No,
say.
no, it hasn't. It's been really, really.
It's just, come on now, give me something else here, people. But yeah, it's just
So we
heartbreaking.
we have like we on the Word Show we talk about what causes that are important to us. So this month is Heart Month, and then we have
Oh,
Rare Disease Days. So
okay.
that's why I'm wearing my red shirt. I'm gonna start wearing
Oh,
red.
awesome. Oh, I love it. The Lady and the Tramp, right? Is that
Yep,
Lady?
yep,
Yeah.
Lady and the
Yeah.
Tramp. So
Cute.
we 7th to the 14th is congenital heart defect, which I have, and so we ask people either wear red or blue to support support somebody that they love with congenital heart defect. And then we have rare disease, which is February 28th, and there's about 7,000 rare diseases out there today that nobody hardly knows about. So
Wow.
I push this because I got diagnosed at the age of 30 with a chromosome called 22q11. It's a tiny piece of a chromosome, and it's
Mhm.
just like Down syndrome. So we have
Oh,
all these different symptoms going on with the person, but each person is different, and they don't have the exact same, feature as that person. It
mhm,
is getting a little bit well known about 22q. There's other names of it, but we just
mhm.
want to celebrate it on February 28th. That's the Rare Disease Day. And then people wear black and white like zebra.
Oh,
So,
favorite color.
yeah, so we change it up. We got Gold Red for women. We got Congenital Heart Month, and then we got Black History Month that's top of that. So, a lot of, you know,
Right.
uh, holidays coming up this month, and it's kind of crazy, but we try to figure it all out. So, I try to wear
Well,
something red. Go ahead.
I wish I would have gotten the memo because I'm wearing pink and I would have worn
Well,
red to join you. But kind of in the same color
yeah,
palette,
no,
I guess.
I want to add you guys to my Facebook, but I got 5,000 people. I'm like, okay, I got to start, weeding people out.
No. That's
you
a lot,
know?
but good for you. That's a lot. You're a fan base. That's something to be proud
Yes.
of?
And then I want you to meet somebody, Maxie Rodriguez. She's the one that does my logos and my graphic designer. She loves horror films. She just finished doing a comic horror flick. And
Wow.
yes,
Oh, I would definitely love to meet her. Yes, for sure.
yes, and she has a comic strip called Chubby Bunny, and I will send you the link to where you can buy T-shirts and stuff like that. So she's uh, kind of like she got frustrated because she was trying to draw comics for horrors, And she goes,
Uh-huh.
oh man, this is too much. This is no, I don't. And she says she can't
Incredible.
share it yet, but once she gets the approval, then I will share it with you. But she is a
Okay.
phenomenal artist and graphic designer, so
Oh,
she
that's
does,
awesome. I would love
yes,
that. I'm a
yes.
big believer in supporting a lot of things for awareness and stuff like that. Like, um, I know you said you have a rare disease. I grew up with a disease myself. I'm a chronic asthmatic, and though it's, a lot of
What
people
is
don't
that?
think
I
it's,
never heard that.
and I have asthma. I'm
Oh,
asthmatic,
okay.
so I suffer from a lot of respiratory infections. Like I never get the flu, but go straight to getting a respiratory infection. Like I've had laryngitis, I've had walking pneumonia 3 times. I've been hospitalized for pneumonia when I was 17. I mean, so many things. And my whole life, I was born with it. So, I had to struggle. There were times where we had to go to the hospital and get my, oxygen and all that stuff. And many people don't know that because it's not something like hey, my name is Lizette, I'm asthmatic.
Right.
It's just, it's sometimes
It's not
we
something
have
you
these,
want to talk about. Yeah,
we have these ailments and we don't want them to limit the things that we can do in our life, and
exactly.
that's what I tried to tell myself and other people around them. Like my mom didn't want me to run track. She didn't want to play any sports. She didn't want me to do karate. And I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai now. That's my favorite TV show. So I'm like, you see, I should have done karate. That was my dream. But but she let me figure skate, which funny, blades. Um, but all these things that she didn't want me to do, but I said no, I want to swim, I want to play tennis, so I did everything and I turned out to be a college athlete. In college, I was captain of my tennis team. I was captain of my high school tennis team. I went to volleyball camp. I played softball, swimming. I was a lifeguard. I've done all these sports because I kept telling myself asthma was not gonna prevent me from doing the things
Yeah.
that I want to do, so
Yeah. I had the heart condition, so they told me I couldn't do certain things growing up, and I was always in adaptive PE. So my mom and dad would put me into soccer, they would put me into ballet, they would put me into gymnast, but I didn't like any of that stuff. And then later, I like soccer. Believe it or not, I did like soccer. I
it's
played
fun.
it for 6 years,
Oh
and
wow.
my mom and dad were my coaching at the time, so they were helping me. What they thought that my they would help me with my fine motor skills, help me run a little bit. And
Which is good
so
for.
as I got older, and then when I went to the cardiologist a couple of years
Hmm.
ago, he says my heart is doing fantastic. No more heart surgery for a long time. He says
See?
I can now play football at the USC football if I wanted to, or kickboxing.
Wow.
So, but I'm also
Wow.
off balance. So that's like,
Oh, kind of trinkle. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But you see, look, you playing soccer, and it was good that your mom and your dad were like your coaches because they could regulate how they can make sure they didn't push you too much, but you were hurting yourself physically.
right.
Some coaches can tend to like push their athletes and they don't know a lot of their ailments and stuff like that. So it's good that they knew. But look, because you pushed yourself and it actually helped you a little bit. And
It helped me, but yeah,
yeah, and I mean that's what people need to understand. Like swimming's supposed to be really good for like asthmatics. I don't know how because you're underwater, you can't breathe.
you
But
can't
that's a
breathe.
different
Yeah.
story.
It seems
you
like
know?
me. I'm gonna get ready to have surgery about the end of this month,
Oh
and
no.
so mine is a little bit different because I have sinus issues really bad. I'm like you. I get
Hmm.
sinus infections. I get pneumonia,
Yep.
bronchitis, and then they said,
Hmm.
"Oh, you got COVID." No, I don't have COVID. I just have bad sinus issues.
Yes. Don't you hate when you go to the store and you sneeze and everyone's like, "Oh my God, COVID!" It's like, hey, people have allergies, like bad allergies. Sometimes you have to, it's come on, people. It's like it's so crazy that people have forgotten that someone can just
Yes.
sneeze and
So
it's not COVID.
you have asthma, so you're at high risk. So you got to basically stay at home just like I do, and you're
Oh
going
yeah.
nuts. You can't go do anything. So I know how you
Yep.
feel. And then when
Yep.
people hear us coughing and hacking, I go, we live in California. We got Santa Ana winds. We got all kinds of crazy weather. We have
Hmm.
problems breathing throughout the whole entire year. So deal with it,
Yeah.
you know?
It's like, and sometimes when it rains, I don't know if it happens for you, but I know when it rains here in California, I'm a mess. My allergies get like, I'm I'm sure your sinuses get kind of revved
You
up
can hear
too,
me a
right?
little bit. I'm all congested right now. Yeah.
See, it's the same. When I came on to before we did this, I got on with Zoom for you. I'm like, oh my God, my allergies are starting again. So I'm like, please go away. Watermelon, watermelon.
So I have a humidifier. I have this. They go, oh, are you doing everything you're supposed to? I go, yes, but I can't. You know, I've had 3 sinus surgeries. It is like, so
Wow, wow. Do you do any home remedies? Like I know, like I use because I'm also a voiceover artist, so I have to constantly take care of my throat and with the allergies, it's not always easy. But I have a humidifier in my room that helps a lot. Do you do that? I'm sure. Oh, you have one right behind you. There you go. Yeah.
I have that. And then I drink tea. I put honey and lemon in there. You know.
Lemon. Okay.
But sometimes it just gets so bad. You
Hmm.
you you know can't hardly deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And it's no matter
it's
what you
not
do,
easy.
you're like, it's
Hmm.
like I'm
Hmm.
sorry, I can't help it. You know?
That's why I hate going out sometimes when my stuff, my allergy starts to rev up with my asthma because I hate when people start looking at me if I cough or sneeze or I'm like, come on, it's not just me. I've heard like your story. I've heard a lot of my friends go through that too that have like sinus issues or bad allergies. It just makes it very difficult. It's like why, I can't wait for people to stop judging and well,
Yes.
people are always going to judge, but it's just I was going to say too, I don't know if you do this. It helps me a lot. Spanish remedy, Vicks. You ever put Vicks? Put it on everything, your nose, your
Yep.
chest. It's
Yep.
like breathe it in. It's just like
What I do
my
is
dad taught me that.
I take a shower and then I'll put it on my chest. I'll put it
On
on
your
my
chest,
nose.
It's like I
I
have like 20 containers of Vicks in my apartment.
I started doing that when I was a little kid, and just kept with me, and like and then I go,
Yeah.
"You put Vicks on?" I go, "Yes, I put Vicks on." I got my little spray and everything, and they tell me you got to stay inside because you're getting ready to have surgery. You can't go out. So I'm just stuck inside the house and arguing with
Oh,
my mom and dad like crazy. But
oh my
I,
goodness.
I
Yeah, that's
I'm a people person. I like to go out. I like to go have fun. But since with the pandemic and
same.
everything going on, it's like
I know. If people ask me what's the one thing you miss, even though I have, like I told you, I miss going to the yoga studio, but I've created my own studio at home. But it's not the same because it's their place is heated. Mine is not as heated as their studios get. I've done meditation and I created all my studios, so I'm constantly working at home. But I miss going out and networking with people, talking to people, wearing heels, a pretty dress, makeup, like all that. You can barely wear makeup now. I try, but then I get lipstick on the back of my mask and my scare my wipes off. It's just, it ain't pretty. But it's like, oh well, I'll just stay home or go to Target and back, you know.
I know. Lately, I've been sleeping a lot. I'm like, that's not good. Like
Yes, it's not. But what else can you do? I mean, I say this is a time now for everyone. I know it's crazy to say this, but to find the positive in this crazy mess that we're all in. And for me, that was my creativity. Like, before I was going from job to job and doing this and always focusing on my auditions and my voiceover auditions and gigs. But at home, I've been able to focus on building the things that I want to do. Like I'm working on a project and still working on that. But I'm writing something with a friend of mine, so we're going in phases of editing and all that, and when it's ready I can tell more about it, but it's in that pre-production process. We can't shoot it till after COVID is done because I'm not gonna deal with any regulation stuff, and now and SAG is going through a whole thing, so now I'm not gonna do that. But then after that it's like I came up with another project, and I don't know if you know this, I have a beautiful black cat. Her name is Prissy, and I just started to, someone said, you should enter your cat in this competition, America's Favorite Pet. So I said, okay, fine. I did. Lo and behold, she did so well. She made it to the semifinals. And I started, they wanted one picture. And I said, you know what? I want to go out all out and give them like 5 pictures of her. So I created this thing between Chrissy and me where I became her little photographer, personal photographer, and she models for me. She literally, I'll put on outfits and she'll go in front of the backdrop and she'll start modeling and I just start snapping pictures and she like, it's like we created this bond between us, you know, and that has been another source of creativity that I didn't even know I had ability to take pictures of my cat, you know. It's like the things you do in quarantine.
I take pictures of my dogs. So if you see pictures on my Instagram, I have 3 dogs, and I have 2 golden retrievers and a Mini Schnauzer. But sometimes they don't want to take pictures, so they're stubborn and pig-headed.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I'm surprised Prissy's like that, but I think when she was a baby, I always put shirts on her. You know, I guess I always wanted a dog, but I got a cat instead. No, but you know, I dressed her all the time, so I think she got used to it. But a lot of my friends tell me, how does she do that? Because I try to do that with my cat, and she won't let me put anything on her, or she won't pose. And I was like, my cat is like me. She wants to be in the limelight, you know, and it's like if she makes it, that's great. It's like,
yeah,
you know, but
it's funny
she's been
because,
out for commercials too and everything. So,
well, I want to learn how to write, but my writing sucks, and
mhm.
I have I'm dyslexic, so I
Oh,
I
yeah.
spell words not backwards, but I forget to put them in the sentences.
Hmm.
And so, I thought about writing, but I'm like, my writing's not that good, you know. And then I thought
Hmm.
about, oh, maybe we could do on the awareness show like it's a comedy, have different, I'm still playing with the idea because I always wanted to do a scene with my team where we're doing like, what was it? Famous Breakfast Club, you know.
Oh.
So we each have our own little parts, and it'd be
Hmm.
like, next it would be what I would say, I want to say basket case, but she'll kill me that for later. But you know what I mean? It's just certain
Like
different
the
things.
little your own
She would,
versions of it, of the
yeah,
Breakfast Club.
she would be the artist, and then I would have Ruben as the engineer, and then I have someone as mine as a principal. Her name is Christian because she would be a good fit for that. So each would have our own little parts of it, But I
So
don't know if they want to do it or not. Yeah.
basically you're kind of like me. To be honest, I don't actually write. My grammar is not the best, I'll be honest, even though I studied for many many years, but I did take up creative writing in college and stuff, so I was taught how to write scripts and stuff. But I always work with a good writing partner. Like my partner works on a TV show, The Toys That Made Us and stuff, so he's, legitimate writer and everything. And I had another project with another friend who wrote for Jay Leno and David Letterman, and we worked on a project. So I always am lucky that I find good writers to write with me, but they call me like the ghost writer. Like I will give them all the ideas and they'll write it, but then of course I have to read it because then I say, no, my character she wouldn't talk like that. So you need to change that. Or so I'm really, even though I don't actually write it like myself, they write it. I give them all the ideas and I will actually voice it out loud what she would say and they'll just jot that down and stuff. So I'm really a ghostwriter, but I really will help them. So even though you have these ideas, you just could find a good writer to help you, get them on
Yeah.
paper, and then and be there. And it's fun to find a co-writing buddy that you can just, do ideas with, and
I don't think they'd
you
be
can do it.
into that idea, because they're kind of shy. I'm like, you know, I'm
Well,
always, I'm
or one
always
of your good
thinking,
buddies. If you have a good
I
friend
know,
who's a
right?
writer. Say, I'll take you out for coffee. I'll buy you lunch. Help me write this script. That's how it works. Good old
Well,
Hollywood.
they're like they're not scared, but they always say, "You always drag me into these weird shenanigans." I go, "Hey, you gotta make it stay aware show. You gotta make it bigger. You gotta make it more fun. Make stand out in this show." That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out.
yeah, and there's books that you can read in seminars where they tell you, the characters sticks. I mean, I'm not gonna go too crazy that, but there are ways to do treatments, and you can
Right.
learn ways to how to write a script and stuff like that. But yeah, writing the script is the most important thing, because then everything else, you can get everybody else to do the work for you, casting directors, agents, to get the talents you want and everything. But it is definitely a process to get a script going. And people are like, why does that movie take so long to come out? It's like, well, because they have to write it, they have to rewrite it, they have to, you know, get it approved and proofread it and then get the actors and everything. So it is a production, but if it's done right, it's going to be something that might get an award, you know? So.
Well, our time is almost up.
Oh,
Lizette, where
so
can they?
sad.
Well, no, we're gonna do a part two because I want to hear more about your stories and scripts. So, where can
Perfect.
they find? Where can you? They look for you on Instagram, YouTube.
Good question. So you can find me on Instagram. It's pretty simple. It's all about Lizette Santiago. So, because it's all about my journeys in the entertainment life and world. I also created my website, lizettesantiago.com. It's going to be a very elaborate website, but right now it's up for people to go see Prissy's profile. You can follow Prissy too if you want at It's Prissy Cat and Company. Soon I'll be launching some stuff for her as well. Like I want to do a product line for her and get that out too. But everything, my voiceover reel, IMDb, all of that is all on my website for people to see. So you can just click on, make it easy. On Facebook, I know I'm under an alias. It's so crazy, but it's LZT Santiago. I had a stalker, so I had to change it a little bit. So but just
We all have all those.
LZT. We all have one, right? So it's LZT Santiago on Facebook, all about Lizette Santiago on Instagram. Twitter, I think it's just Santiago LZT. I can't remember. I don't really tweet too much, but you can probably just type in my name and find me. I'll pop up. Only there's not too many Lizette Santiagos. There are and there aren't, you know. And then IMDb Lizette Santiago, so you can always check that out as well.
And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Amazon Music, Pandora,
Wow.
Podomatic, Podbean. We're all over. And we do have a threadless shop. I'm going to send you the link so you can see our t-shirts. And the creator and graphic designer is Maxi Rodriguez. And shout out to Ruben. He's my sound engineer guy. And Melissa Diaz is my co-host. But we all cannot get together sometimes because of the pandemic. So,
I get that. Yes. Yes, and I can't wait for you to have me on the show again when we can talk some more. Thank you for having me, Michelle.
And you know what I'll do? I will send out a message to Maxie so she can meet you. And she'll fall in love with you instantly.
Oh, so, thank you. Yeah. And can I say one more thing, Michelle, too? First of all, take care of yourself. That's where I want to make sure you do. And also, I just want to say to my buddy in heaven, Dustin Diamond, rest in peace. I love you, buddy. And till we meet again. Okay, and we'll talk more about that later to Michelle. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Love you guys.
Bye. Love you.